name is Franca and I'm glad you're here. This week I'm going to be attempting to do a video I've tried in the past. I'll link the old one above, but I'm going to be reading for 24 hours straight. And this time we're going to be reading the Caraval series. So it's Caraval, Legendary, and Finale. So hopefully these books will take me 24 hours to read. I'm going to try my absolute hardest to read for the full 24 hours. Last time I did stops and starts, and this time I'm going to try and do the full thing. So let's get into the first book, Caraval. I haven't heard much about this book. I know it has something to do with twin sisters and a magical carnival. So I'm excited to figure it out. So let's start the timer and get into this. Okay, I'm about 55 minutes into the challenge and 56 pages in, and I'm a little confused. So obviously we've met the main character, Charlotte, twin sister named Donatella, and their father is abusive. Their father is marrying Scarlett off to some count, and Scarlett finds Donatella somewhere in their house with this dude. He's a sailor or whatever. His name is Julian, and their father finds them and like slaps Donatella. Donatella made Julian say it was Scarlett, and instead of hurting Scarlett, her dad hurt her sister. Then Donatella is only interested in this guy because she wants him to take her off the island, because those two are not allowed to leave the island they live on. Her sister gets an invitation to the carnival, so she finally gets the invitations, and her sister like, this is perfect, we're gonna go. Scarlett's like, absolutely not, our dad's getting off us. And Donatella's like, don't worry about it. So then Donatella comes up with a plan to get her sister to try and stop her plan, but by stopping her plan, she ends up getting herself kidnapped by her sister and Julian, who get her off the island and take her to the island where the carnival is happening. She woke up from whatever gas they put on her or whatever. They had like a cloth with something on it, and so she was passed out, and she woke up in this boat with Julian, and it was just her and Julian. It was a small little boat, and he's like, oh, like we're paddling to the shore or whatever, and she's like, where's my sister? And he's like, she's on the island already. So then there's a hole in the boat and the boat is sinking, so then they have to jump into the water, and eventually they make it to shore, and she's like looking at like the sand or whatever, and she's like, there's not a single footprint here, like where's my sister? And that's how the chapter ends. I'm pretty sure her sister gets kidnapped and Scarlett is trying to find her at this carnival. I feel like I remember hearing that, but also I don't think my hearing's that well. There's gotta be a romance in that, I feel like, because the front of the book said, a legendary competition, a mesmerizing romance, and an unbreakable bond between two sisters. So obviously there has to be a romance, but I wonder if it's between, I'm gonna assume it's between Scarlett and Legend, so we'll see if that happens. It is in third person, which like I don't really mind. It doesn't make a difference to me. I'm going to keep reading, but I might stop for a bit and get a snack. So I will see you guys when we figure out more. Okay guys, I'm about 4 hours into this and I'm on page 254. I feel like normally I can finish a book in around 4-ish hours. But I feel like I keep rereading pages in this book. You know when you're fully paying attention and then you start reading it and you're just like reading the words, and then all of a sudden I see something, I'm like, oh my god, what the heck is happening? And I have to keep rereading things. But I do feel like this is like, I don't want to say it's a harder book to get into because I am enjoying it. It's just the language in it or the way people talk or the things they're talking about aren't like, you know what I mean, like modern words. They feel like medieval kind of talk, if that makes sense. But it's only like some people and it's only like sometimes. But in terms of what's happened so far, obviously she's been at this carnival. It's this strange place. And like, I don't even know what to tell you because I don't really know. Like, I know what's going on, but like, I don't know how to explain what's going on. But basically, she's going around, she's solving all these clues or whatever. But she just learned, like her grandma used to tell her stories of the carnival. And now that she's at the carnival, she learns that Legend, the guy who runs the carnival or is like in charge of the carnival, actually was in love with her grandma, and that her grandma rejected him for her grandpa. So he's still devastatedly heartbroken. And she also mentioned how her mom disappeared. I'm pretty sure it's because Legend offed her. But now he has brought her and her sister to this carnival because he vowed to kill any daughters or granddaughters of Annalise, which is her grandmother. And he also vowed that like neither of them would fall in love and find love. So she noticed that all of the letters she sent when she was younger, she didn't sign her full name. And the last letter she sent talking about her marriage, she signed her full name. And that's how he knew it was her, and that's why he invited her. And she thought she was some special guest, and no, she literally just wants to off her. So I guess maybe she's not gonna fall in love with Legend, but I guess she's gonna fall in love with Julian, because she's been like hanging out with him the whole time, and they've had a few cute moments. So I guess it's Julian who she falls in love with, or maybe she still might end up with Legend. So we'll see. I am about 6 hours into this challenge, and I just finished Caraval. I cannot even begin to explain what this book is about. This truly felt like I was in some magical world that made like absolutely no sense. But the ending was a little traumatizing. It was such a twist, and I wasn't expecting it to be that much of a twist. But yeah, I was reading it and I was like, oh my god, like this is the end of the book. I was like, why are there so many pages left? And then it just kept going and going, and I'm like, oh my god. But like, to be honest, if I was Scarlet, I would not talk to any of these people. I'd be like, you literally just traumatized me, and I don't think I can get over that. Absolutely crazy, insane, not what I was expecting in the end, you know? They had me fooled for a bit. The end of the epilogue, I guess, has a letter from Legend to Tella, Scarlet's sister, and it's like, don't forget what you owe me. So I feel like the second book is going to be about Tella, maybe? But then also she has some cool things at the back of her book. Obviously she has, I guess, the first chapter of Legendary, which I didn't read. Oh, she does have a playlist as well, but it's at the back. She also has, like, her first drafts of the letters at the beginning of the book, which I thought was pretty cool that the letters were in there, but she also has, like, it's called False Starts, which are the letters she originally wrote, and basically instead of it being about two sisters, it was just about one girl. Here, let me show you. They have like these little letters and stuff in here, which I think is kind of cool, because like at least you can like tell you're reading a letter, you know what I mean? Like it gives it something apart from the words, if that makes sense, which I liked. I don't know how to feel about this book, to be honest. I feel like I don't want to judge this book until I read the rest of the series, and then we'll judge it after. But to be honest, I love the cover. She's so pretty, and I love the back too, the little admit one. So we're gonna get straight on into the next one, which is Legendary, which also has this beautiful cover. I have a feeling this is about Tella's story, but I also don't want to read the backs of these books and like actually have any idea going into these books, which is normally what I do. I ignore the back and just read the book, because I want to be surprised. I don't want the back of the book to spoil anything for me. So we're gonna get into Legendary, and hopefully I don't fall asleep. I've been reading for 6 hours straight, and I've been doing pretty good so far. With that said, let's get into the book. I am 88 pages into Legendary today, and about 7.5 hours in. So this is obviously about Tella and her story. So after the carnival, they are gonna do another one a week later, which normally they only do one per year, but they're doing another one a week after the first one for some like old person lady's birthday. She's probably like royalty or something. She needs to find out Legend's real name to pay a debt to someone who helped her figure out a whole bunch of information about Legend. So the only way she can figure out his name is if she wins the next carnival. So she's gonna play, and when they get to like the castle or whatever, they don't have a room for her. I don't know if someone like forgot about her, if like Legend knows what she's trying to do or whatever, but they don't have a room for her. And Dante, I guess he's like kind of salty with her that she's not like obsessed with him. They had a little thing at the after party of the carnival the first time, and then she told her sister that he was a bad kisser. So Dante told the maid that Tella was the Royal Highness's fiance or whatever, so she got like this super cool room. And then she overhears the maids being like, oh yeah, he like offed his wife, and he like offed all his other relatives. So that's where we're at right now. Obviously we learned a little bit of backstory in this one at the beginning of like why Tella did what she did in the first book, so I guess I hate her a little less. So I'm gonna keep reading and we're gonna see what happens. 382 pages into this, and when I tell you this SHIT is crazy, this SHIT is crazy. I can't even begin to think of how to explain this book to you. Like, I understand what's going on, but like, I can't find the words to explain it to you in a way that will make sense. I don't even remember what I told you last time. Okay, so this book literally feels like I'm reading a completely different story. The first book was all about this carnival, right? And although the second book is also about the same carnival, the first book was all like, nothing's real, this is a game, right? Don't believe anything. This book is like, you're playing a game, but like, it's real. These fates. And one of them is the Prince of Hearts, I think he was. And he has a kiss that kills you unless you are his true love. And he happens to be the heir to the throne, right? And I was like, oh my god, like he's gonna kiss Tella and she's gonna be his true love. Wrong, I guess? I don't know. That still might happen. I don't know. So he kissed her at this ball. She just found out her mom was a criminal who stole this deck of cards. Guarantee you this sounds so crazy right now. Like, I feel like I'm going crazy reading this book because the characters in the book feel like they're going crazy. I feel like I'm going crazy trying to explain this book. I promise it like actually makes sense if you read the book. Let me just read this to you. Find her sister, Dante again. Get her into Tella's room at the palace. I don't want her to wake up alone. A pause followed, extended in a way that made Tella fear her hearing had failed her until Julian's voice broke the quiet. You really care about her? Another pause. I care about finding those cards, and she's our best hope for it, brother. You're kidding me. Dante's legend? I thought I'd tell you that bit before I kept reading and figured it out. That's all for now. I think I'm about like 10 hours in. This book is taking a lot of brain power because I have to remember things, but I feel like this book is keeping me on my toes. Whatever. I will see you guys later. Okay, we're about 10.5 hours in, and I just finished Legendary. This series is low-key unhinged because the ending, I feel like they gave hints that it was gonna happen, but it was like, no, like that can't happen. No, it did. I have no idea what the third book's gonna be about, but like I am so invested in this world. I don't know how people feel about this book, but I am loving it so far. It's so good, but I don't know what's gonna happen to Tella and her love interest. I won't spoil that for you guys. Obviously, she loves one of them. I feel like something could low-key happen with the other one, you know what I mean? And the way he treated her was kind of shitty at the end, so we'll see what happens. With that said, we are going to go into the third book, which is Finale. I'm about 11 hours into this challenge and like 60 pages into Finale. This book is dual POV, so it's showing Ella and Scarlet, and both of them are kind of having trouble with love after they found it in each of their books. It's good so far, but we'll see if that changes. I feel like I like Tella's story a little bit more, and then their mom has also been taken out of those cards or whatever, so there's her too, and they're still dealing with like the fates and stuff, so we'll see what happens with that. Oh my god, I have a theory again. I was reading and I was like, wait a minute. If you don't want to, it might be a spoiler, it might not be a spoiler. If you don't want to hear it, skip to this part. So Scarlet has been having like these, like, she can see people's emotions in like auras around them or whatever. And Scarlet looks so much like her mom. And Scarlet got kidnapped, by the way. And the people who kidnapped her were like, he wants his daughter alive. But they didn't specifically say it was like her dad. But I think like, and then they came to Nicholas's house because that's where Scarlet was supposed to meet him, and Nicholas was like burned alive. And you know who can do that? The fallen star, which is one of the fates. My theory is that Scarlet is the fallen star's daughter. I don't know about Tella. Maybe Tella's the fallen star's daughter, or maybe Tella's dad is actually their dad in the book. I feel like at least Scarlet has to be his kid. Okay, the spoiler's over. Some interesting stuff is happening. Legend asked Tella if she wanted to be immortal, and she's like, no. But also, side note, literally has nothing to do with anything. In the first game, Legend gave Scarlet this dress that like magically changes. Like if it's nighttime, she's wearing a nightgown. If it's, and based on her feelings, the dress changes. I would do anything to have that dress. When someone figures out how to make one of those things, let a girl know. With that said, I think I'm about like 13-ish hours in, but I'm gonna keep reading because now I really need to find out if I'm right. I'll see you guys later. I'm about 7 hours into this. 7 hours. I'm at 17 hours into this, and I'm on page 366, so I have about like 100-ish pages left, so I'm gonna try and finish this today. I'm about 18 and a half hours in, and I just finished finale. Oh my gosh. I love it. I don't know if I'm just a series girl and I just like need more than just one book, but I love this so much. I love this series, and I know there's like Once Upon a Broken Heart, that series of books. So I guess we'll have to read those next, but I did love it. I feel like if you're not a person who likes third person, then you won't like this because it isn't third person the whole entire time. But I liked every one of these books. It was so good, and I feel like I also like books that are like interesting and like they're new, if that makes sense, or at least new to me. Like this doesn't feel like any of the other books I read, but I also have to find another book to read for the rest of the 24 hours, and I think I have one in mind, but we'll see. Now I'm gonna rate the Caraval book, and if you haven't guessed by now, I'm gonna give them all 5 stars. And I love that it's a series. I feel like when there's a series, I have much more time to fall in love with the characters and actually fall in love with the book itself. And now we gotta find a new book. Here's the deal, guys. So this is the only book, like standalone book, that I have that I don't already have an idea to film for. So this is the only option left for our last book, but I did have a video idea for this. So we're gonna count this as our 4th book, and I'm going to read this in a different vlog. So I'm sorry about lying to you guys, but I will be reading for 24 hours. This book will be in a different vlog. With that terrible news, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give this video a like and comment down below. If you didn't enjoy it, feel free to leave a hate comment. I'd love to hear your opinion, and I will see you guys tomorrow.